I saw this really good YouTube ad where this guy was saying that the best side hustle is a part-time job. I thought that was interesting. He was positioning a course for media buying. It was a media buying course. But I thought the idea was interesting that instead of trying to get a side hustle together, you can just aim to find a job that you can complete in a few days a week so that you have the rest of the week to work on things that you want to. This is relevant to me because the project I'm working on with my co-founder might not make it past the end of the year. If we can't find enough customers for it to become profitable by the end of the year, we're going to have to switch gears and it will become a part-time project. So looking for a part-time job that allows us to continue working on the product would be ideal. It would mean not having to kill the project entirely. So I've been thinking about getting a formal job as a prompt engineer. And I've only ever applied for one job in my life. It was a job as an assistant personal trainer, no, an assistant fitness coach, just as I got out of high school. I was the guy that would like wipe down the machines, keep the gym tidy. It was the first job in the fitness industry I worked in 8 years, say 7 maybe, between 7 and 8 years. I was a corrective exercise coach, eventually ran my own clinic. And that was the only job where I had to go to a bunch of gyms and hand them my little one-page CV and then wait for people to call me back and feel the sting of rejection and sorry, but it's not right for us. And then eventually getting that one response and getting the job first day of work. Yeah, I haven't had to do that my entire career. I've always either worked for myself or worked with my own clients or worked on my own businesses. So the idea of going through the formal job application process again is very strange, especially since I'm the person that has been hiring people over the last few years. So taking what I know now as someone who has put up jobs and has looked for applicants, I've been thinking about how I would go about the process differently. And I don't have a lot of faith in the kind of more traditional job application process where you put your CV together and then write a resume for each company and explain why you're a good fit. Very, very competitive, but also it kind of leans towards demonstrating credentials over demonstrating skills. And as an employer, I would much prefer if you can just show me how what you've done is relevant to what I am asking you to do in the job. There's this really good post that I read many, many years ago, and I keep coming back to it. It's called 8 Steps to Doing Anything You Want or Getting Anything You Want. It was a guest post on Tim Ferriss's blog. Michael Ellsberg wrote it. And it was a really good step-by-step breakdown of how to get a job in the informal job economy. And I think it's like 7 or 8 steps, and the crux of the idea is that you showcase your learning in an industry by reading books or doing courses and then writing about what you've learned, and then you start working for free for business owners specifically in that industry so that you can then write case studies about how you've applied the principles that you've learned. So showcase your learning, work for free for business owners, and build up a network doing that. That's the crux of the idea, and is probably how I would approach trying to get a job as a prompt engineer. Mainly because the word prompt engineer is so new and so vague, and the job is so mercurial. Every job post that I've looked at is asking for different things. And it's really just kind of a blanket term for anyone related to figuring out what needs to be figured out at the intersection of the business and AI. So I think it would be really interesting to work as a prompt engineer formally, as long as it was part-time. I don't know who I would work for and how I would find companies that I think are really interesting, and that's a whole separate kettle of fish. But in order to take the 8 steps Michael Ellsberg approach to finding a part-time job, I need a format that I can do fairly quickly. Since prompt engineering isn't an established process, like how does one prompt engineer, I need to define that in some way that limits me being able to go in, work with a business, and then come out and do something valuable that I can then write a case study about. Having thought about this, I think a prompt audit is the best I have. I will continue to think about it, but I think the process of going in, understanding how the prompts have been put together, and then being able to grade them against some core principles, analyze where they are, and then fix them so that you get the highest grade possible, is the closest I've come to encapsulating prompt engineering in a repeatable short process. So I thought I would use these videos as a forum to develop these core principles over the next couple of months. How would I go about doing a prompt audit if a friend is starting a business in the AI space and I wanted to jump in and audit all of their prompts and then improve them, not just because I think it should be done better, but because I'm applying established principles in the industry. Where do those principles come from? Why do you apply them in certain situations? What are the messy edge cases? I really want to articulate and lay all of this thinking down, one small YouTube video at a time. And if in a couple of months we are able to find customers, then all of this work is super relevant to our product as a prompt management tool. And then if we do have to power the project down and do this part-time, then I can use the videos to start the job hunt process. That's the idea. That's as far as I've got. I will continue to think about this. Thank you.